talk to my wife, talk to my husband. We've all heard it. If you've been selling for like a day, you've heard it. I gotta talk to my wife. I gotta talk to my husband. I gotta talk to this person. I gotta talk to that person, right? So we call it the spouse stall or the spousal objection. All right, it's when someone says, I can't make a decision because I have to talk to my wife or I have to talk to my husband. Probably drives you crazy. So number one, you got to make sure that you're not asking your spouse to make a decision, because if that's the case, you're just going to attract that stuff towards you. First step, when someone says I have to talk to my husband or I have to talk to my wife, always agree. I hear what you're saying. I say I hear what you're saying, or yeah, I get that, but I don't say I understand, because I don't understand why someone has to talk to their husband or wife to make a decision about a small policy. If it was like thousands of dollars a month, yeah, but not something like that, like final expense, like what we sell. So I always agree. I'm going to go over a few different ways to handle this objection here. So I always agree. Number one, hey, I hear what you're saying. I get it. Hey, I'm with you. Yeah, great. I understand. And then I ask if they like the idea of insurance. Like, well, I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you this. Do you like the idea of a program like this for your spouse, your wife, your husband, your child, daughter, whatever? And then if they say, yeah, I do, I say, great. I love that. And this program and the features on it, specifically this feature, it's only going to help them when you pass. It's only going to provide them additional financial relief and give you the peace of mind that they're taken care of, so you can be the responsible, caring parent and guardian and loved one and family member that I know you want to be. So let's get started with this program, so you know your bases are covered, and just start writing the application. Assume the sale. So that's one. So you like the idea of you ask if they like the program. If they say no, if they don't like the idea of the insurance, then you can't do anything about it anyway. So that I like to start off with that one. Because if they say, no, I don't even like the idea of the insurance, then it's like, okay, well, I didn't do my job selling them on it in the first place. So they got to like it. And then I say, well, yeah, exactly. It's an awesome program. The features that are the best for you are this one and this one. That's why we should start with this face amount. By features, I mean like terminal illness. Is it a whole life? Is it a term? Does it have any nursing home benefits on it? What riders are there? Accidental, right? Are they a truck driver? Do they need accidental coverage? Will that be a big thing for them? So I'll go over a couple benefits and say, so let's take care of this now. Let's get started with this program. What's your middle initial? So just start writing the application, assume the sale. Number two, say, hey, I understand, right? For sure. Definitely want to, I hear what you're saying. Definitely want to get your wife involved, your husband involved. So let's get this done. And of course, final approval and you keeping the policy is subject to them signing off on it. But by submitting this today, you're giving you and your spouse a deadline of 30 days to sign off on that final approval before your free look period ends. Okay, so this close, it's kind of like the free look period close. I like to call it that. Now, some states have like a 10-day free look period. Most companies have a 30-day free look period. What free look is, when you make your first payment, you have this amount of days to cancel for a refund. Okay, so one way we can do that with the close, hey, you want to talk to your wife? For sure. You guys got to talk about it. I hear what you're saying, right? I guess you got to talk things out, make sure it's the best fit for you. Yeah. Okay, great. So doing this today, you're going to have 30 days to figure that out. 30 days, that's enough time for you to get that squared away, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So by applying today, all we're going to do is set up a 30-day deadline, so you know that you got 30 days to make a decision on this, and before you keep the policy and you forfeit your first payment. So what we're really doing here is we're structuring the close on, hey, you're doing this today by setting a deadline. Another way to say it is this, like, I got to talk to my wife. Hey, I hear what you're saying, for sure. Is 30 days enough time to talk to your wife about this so you guys can make an educated decision? Do your research, see what else is maybe out there, whatever. Yeah, 30 days. I mean, most people say, yeah, 30 days, that's plenty of time. That's more than enough. Great, exactly, and I figured that you'd say that. So what this program has is a free look period where we give you 30 days from the day you make your first payment with the application to actually decide if you want to keep it or not. I'm sure you've been thinking about life insurance for a while, because most people do. It's not a compulsive buy. So we're going to get this started today. And you know that you got 30 days to figure this out. Within 30 days, you're either going to get insurance with me, with another company, or you're not going to get any life insurance at all. And I'm helping you out by you setting this deadline today, because if not, like, the chances of you getting it done, we've been going back and forth, or you've been in the market for it this long. Let's finally cross this off your list and set a deadline for yourself. What's your middle initial? Just start the application. Another one. Hey, I got to talk to my wife. Hey, I understand, but look, you should just do it anyway. It's only going to help her. What's your middle initial? Or whatever you say to start your applications, okay? No, look, well, I don't know which one. I got to talk to my wife. Hey, I hear what you're saying, but this is only going to help her, so let's just do it anyway. Move into it. Also, you got to realize too, is sometimes if you give people a bunch of options and they say, I have to talk to my wife or my husband, that what they're doing is like, they don't have to talk to them about getting insurance in general. They're just like, you gave me some options, I don't know which one I want to go with. So if that's it, you can isolate that, suggest one for them to go with, and they'll tell you yes, yay or nay, either way, okay? Another way to handle it. Hey, I understand, so let's apply. That way you and him or her have an approval to discuss or a decline to discuss, all right? So I got to talk to my wife. Hey, I hear what you're saying. So we're going to apply today. That way you have an approval on a definite program for you to discuss, or a decline so you can discuss the other options that are available. Assume the application. Another one. This is a strong one. Hey, I hear what you're saying. Now let me ask you this. At one point in time, did your wife lose confidence in your ability to make a decision? What? Boom. That's a big one. At what point in time did your wife or did your husband lose confidence in your ability to make a decision? And they'll tell you, right? Say, or they'll beat around the bush, and you're gonna have to respond accordingly. So if they're like, oh geez, like my whole life, great. So let's restore that confidence by getting this done today and adjusting afterwards based on any changes that you want to make, because you have 30 days to make any changes. The fact of the matter is, you need life insurance. You haven't applied yet. If you died tomorrow, your wife will not regret you getting insurance, and there'll be no one to argue with. So let's get this app started. What's your middle initial, right? Another one, this is an approval close. So it's like a medical close, we call it. So I agree. Hey, I hear what you're saying. Now, is 4 days enough time for you to talk to her or him? Great. So let's apply today. By the time an approval comes back, we'll have something concrete to talk about. You'll have the policy. We can go wherever, everything right there, start the application. Okay? Another one, I hear what you're saying. But I'm sure they have enough to worry about. Like, they got their own decisions to make. Don't burden them with this. The only reason you could be unsure about their approval is either you guys don't think you can afford it, or you don't think it'll work for each other. So which one is it? Do you not think you could afford it, or will it not work for you guys? You feel like the product won't work? Or do you not trust what I'm telling you? All right? Next one. Another one. Hey, I hear what you're saying. So let me ask you this. If I hypothetically was your spouse, right, and I was proposing this to you, you'd be saying yes then, right? So this is a good one to flip on the client. So they say, oh, I got to talk to my wife. Hey, I hear what you're saying. Let me ask you this. If I was your wife, which would be weird, if I was your wife, now, would you be saying yes? So if I brought all this stuff to you and I was your wife, you'd be saying yes? That you want this? Oh yeah, probably. If they say no, be like, come on, dude, you just told me you got to talk to your wife, and now if I said if I am your wife and I bring this to you, then you wouldn't make a decision. So what is it? I'm lost. But 90% of the time they're gonna say yeah. And if they say no, be like, you got to be kidding me. You mean you just told me your wife makes the decisions, and if your wife came to you saying she wants to do this, you wouldn't be saying yeah. So what you're doing here is you're taking you're taking on as if you're like a trusted advisor. Say, great, well, hey, I can understand that. Once they tell you, yeah, if you were my spouse, I would say yes if you propose this. Say, hey, look, now I understand that. Let me reintroduce myself a little bit to you. My name's Justin. I'm with Senior Life Services, and I kind of go over what I stand for, my history in this industry. I embellish it a little bit if I need to. I kind of just talk myself up, and then I go in for the close again, okay? Now, this spouse stall here, this should be brought up in the fact finding to begin with. So in your fact finding, hey, does your husband need to be here to make a decision? Does your wife need to be here to make a decision? That way you know what you're going to run into at the end. And if they bring that up in fact finding, then you get the person on the phone. That's another close too. So great, what's their number? Let's give them a call, right? If you're doing telesales, then say, oh, this is what I like to do. If they're doing if you're in telesales, you say, that's who I heard in the background. Put them on the line. Put it on speaker. So now the reason why I say that is because if you're like, oh, are they home? They're going to be like, no, right? Because they want to delay. They want to stall making the decision. So if you're like, oh, that's who I heard in the background. Put it on speaker. Okay? You're kind of telling them, like, I know they're home. And if they're not home, they'll tell you. They may lie anyway. But it's a way to just assume and to try to coax them into getting that person on the phone. I got to talk to my wife about this. Oh, perfect. That's who I heard in the background. Let's put it on speaker so I can get all this information. Right? Or if they're not home, set up, like, try to call them. Try to three-way them on the phone. Right? Okay. If they're like, oh, that's who I heard in the background. Let's get them on the phone. Oh, no, they're not home. Perfect. What's the best number to reach them at? You call them. If they're like, well, I don't want to call them. Look, I'm trying to help you get this straightened out here. It's really not a monumental decision that we're making. There's got to be something else there, but let's call your wife to get this straightened out. We're going to get a yes or a no. If you get yes, great. You may or may not even have to make a payment today. If it's a no, then whatever. We can still be friends. Right? So really try to push getting that decision maker on the phone as well. There's a bunch of different ways to handle this. I hope you guys take some out of this video and it can help you in handling the spouse objection. You want to hit them like 5 or 6 times, 7 times on the close and try to get that spouse on the phone. Have a manager come in, set up a callback if you need to when the decision maker is there. You want to give everyone a proposal either way. You want to give them a quote. And you want to try to get them to do it or get the decision maker on the line with you. Thank you.